Starting on podcast episode number 117. Tonight we're gonna be talking about why women lie about their body count. Should be a good little interesting episode. We about to get started on it. Grab your popcorn, don't go anywhere. Sit down. You in bed doing nothing anyway. Sit your ass down and listen to this good podcast for a half an hour. You know what I'm saying? Sit your ass down and get this sauce. We're about to get into it. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. And then after this podcast, if you're on live, don't go anywhere. Why? Because I'm going to be doing a video with women talking about this and then basically revealing. And the crazy part is you just got to watch it. So subscribe to YouTube if you're not subscribed to YouTube, because after this, I will be streaming on YouTube and we will be going over it. All right. So, oh shit. We're about to get started. We're about to get started on the podcast, guys. Don't go anywhere. Let's see how many people we got in the live stream. Okay, that's enough for me. We're about to get started. All right, podcast number 117. Tonight we're going to be talking about why women lie about their body count. Now it's a reason for it. Now, if you guys aren't subscribed to YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, because after this podcast episode, I will be streaming. And then when I'm streaming, we're going to react to a video where basically a woman is basically talking about her sexual escapades and basically how crazy it sounds. So it's gonna look a lot better. Hey, my man D Fun Sipping is in the chat. What's up, man? I usually don't reply to people in the chat when we're on live, but we make an exception for you, brother. But anyway, so we're gonna get into the podcast right after this song. Make sure you guys don't go anywhere. Grab your popcorn. We're gonna be here for the next 30 minutes talking about this podcast, 30 minutes or so. We'll get into it right after the song. This is J.O. Compete. And right after this, we'll get into this topic tonight for the podcast.
Look, I'm just out here on the road, I'm just trying to get this chase. Reminiscing about your body, how you put it all on me. When it's all said and done, you the one I'm trying to see. Yeah, them hoes cool, but again, shoot, they don't compete. Nah, they don't compete, yup. When I get back home, best believe I'm trying to see, yup. Where you been all this time, baby girl, I need ya. Been with other women, but they really don't compete. Nah, they don't compete. Shorty cold, she bring winter to the summertime. I ain't trying to get her, but she one of kind. Might be talking crazy, cause the pussy heavy on my mind. But every time I get a bad one, this happens all the time. But it don't feel the same, yeah, it feels different. My niggas say I'm bugging all the time and say I'm tripping. Try to give me mad advice, but you know I never listen. Fuck all that, she got what I need and everything I'm missing. I'm just out here on the road, I'm just trying to get this chase. Reminiscing about your body, how you put it all on me. When it's all said and done, you the one I'm trying to see. Yeah, them hoes cool, but again, shoot, they don't compete. Nah, they don't compete, yup. When I get back home, best believe I'm trying to see ya. Where you been all this time, baby girl, I need ya. Been with other women, but they really don't compete. Nah, they don't compete, yeah. And all that other shit is getting old. And we ain't getting younger, we just getting older. So why we wasting time? What we in it for? I visualize it in my dreams, but now I'm trying to see it though. Yeah, drop the Addy, baby, show me what you bout. Yeah, know you wanna fuck with me because of word of mouth. Yeah, kissing on your body while I'm going down south. Yeah, dick you down. Yeah, fuck you all over the couch. Yeah, you ain't gotta tell me, baby, I know what it is. Even if you got a nigga, he ain't fucking you like this. I'ma need you when your birthday. Soup we handle biz. When I pull up on you, you know that it's lit. I'm just out here on the road. I'm just trying to get this chase. Reminiscing about your body, how you put it all on me. When it's all said and done, you the one I'm trying to see. Yeah, them hoes cool, but against you they don't compete. Nah, they don't compete. Yup, when I get back home, best believe I'm trying to see ya. Where you been all this time, baby girl? I need ya. Been with other women, but they really don't compete. Nah, they don't compete.
All right, guys. That was Jo Compete. That's on all streaming platforms. Make sure you go download it today. That's JAEOHH. And the song is Compete. But let's get into tonight's topic. So tonight we're going to be talking about why women lie about their body count. Now, I do want to get into this topic. And before we get into this topic, I want to say that, you know, if there are any women watching, I'm not here to bash women. I'm not here to sound like a, how do you say, a misogynist or a sexist, right? But we're gonna call it for what it is. You guys know how I'm coming, and you know I always keep it real. But for starters, society condemns it. If a woman has a lot of bodies, if a woman has a lot of bodies and she's out here moving crazy, um, society condemns her. Not only does society condemns her, other women will condemn her, right? Because not all women move like that. And you know, I do believe that when it comes to sexuality, women are just as sexual as men, in some cases even more. Um, but as far as catching bodies, you know, a man will be praised, you know, even when you look at when it comes to marriage. If you look at the history of man, men have been praised for having, you know, if usually a man who had multiple wives back in the day, even millennia ago, usually is somebody who had stature or somebody who had money. Um, so this was a thing where, you know, and usually, you know, ages ago, having sex before marriage was something that was condemned when society was usually ran by religion. So when you see we have a society that takes religion out of society, right? Because we have a godless, more society nowadays. So not everything is so religious based. But even aside from that, you look at nowadays when a guy gets a lot of girls, he's praised as a player, or if he's like, damn, he's popular amongst his guys' friends when he gets a lot of women. That's usually how it goes. But on the other hand, when a woman does it, she's condemned. Not only is she condemned by society, she's condemned by men. Oh, she a thought, she a hoe, right? But then not only is she condemned by men and it's deemed unattractive, she's also condemned by her peers because other women will condemn them for it, right? Like woman, and even if you say nowadays it's a little more accepting, right? Where you can say today's society, women, they will say, oh, why can't she do it if men do it, right? And the whole feminist movement where they want this whole thing where they think that they're equal to men. Now you can say that and you can even think that, but it's all a fallacy. It's all an illusion because yeah, you can say that, all right, you can move how men move, but at the end of the day, you're still going to be condemned. Men and women alike are still going to call you all types of slurs, you know? They're gonna condemn you for your promiscuous behavior. That's what they're gonna do, irregardless of the feminist movement and don't judge me, this and that and the third. They're gonna condemn you for it, either way you look at it. So you can say you're equal to men, but you're not gonna get treated that way. So that's one of the main reasons why women get condemned for past partners. Now, there's levels to it. Not every woman is as bad as the other. You do have some women that are worse than others, right? You have some women that are extremely promiscuous. Uh, you have some women that may lie about one or two partners, right? You may have some women that may lie about a one night stand or a few one night stands, right? And usually I say the only way to really know if a woman is is telling the truth, you honestly you can never really know. But what I find is um, the women who brag about it, the women that are a lot older and they brag about having a very low body count, and they're usually consistent in what they say about their number. Now, there's been times I've been with girls that I've talked to for a while, like months, never necessarily a girlfriend, but there's been women that I've talked to for a while, for months, and um, it was she got caught up in lies, right? So at the beginning, she would tell me that, oh well, my body count is this, right, or somewhere around there. Okay, cool. And then a few months later, I would bring it up again, very slick, very sly, right? And then she would say something different, and I'm like, well, that's not what you said before. Because remember, when you lie, you have to keep up with the lie. You have to remember the lie. Now, there's lots of ways of knowing whether she lied about the body count or not. Usually, if she's consistent with this number. But usually, I find that women that are really proud to have a low body count, they usually brag about it, and they'll consistently brag about it. Right? I've only been with this amount of men. I've only been with that amount of men. They usually brag about it, and they're usually proud about it. Right? Even though you still can't trust that, they still could be lying too. So, aside from society condemning women, and it's one of the main reasons why women lie about their body count, um, the second reason is it is deemed unattractive to men. As far as it goes, is taking them serious. Now, it's okay for women to do it when they're having fun or if they're out of a relationship and they use their whole phase as an excuse to explore their promiscuity, right? They use that as an excuse to be promiscuous because you can't openly admit that, oh, this is a phase and now I'm choosing to go through it, right? Acknowledging the phase in itself is bullshit because once you acknowledge it, you're definitely making a choice to do it. Right. But what you'll find is, especially men that have less experience, especially men that are less sexually experienced, when they see a girl or they hear about a girl's body count, um, it turns them off a bit, especially when the woman has more experience than them. And a lot of men don't find it to be very attractive. And it's an innate thing. Now, there is a podcast that I did. Um, and I believe it's also on YouTube where I gave a lot of scientific data. I even quoted my sources, and it talked about men that were with a multitude of women and women that were with a multitude of men. Now, it's like a natural inclination when men don't like women that have a large body count. And there's almost a reason for it. Now, there's been studies done that say women that have a large body count usually have a hard time and have a difficult time maintaining long-term relationships. And they have a hard time making a soul connection, right? They have a hard time getting more attached. And what the study said was, now it was the same thing for men, but there was a slight difference between the two. Now, it said that men that had a multitude of partners had a hard time settling down and being with one person after a long time. Now, it said the same thing with women. They had a hard time settling down and with being with one person after being conditioned to having a multitude of sex partners. Now, the difference with men were able to train or retrain their brain, and men were able to their brain structure literally changed after a while of conditioning themselves and training themselves of being with one person. They could be content, and they actually got back to a place where they could be with one person. Now, as for women, getting back to that point wasn't a thing. Now, when it came to women, and when they wanted to get back with one person and they wanted to be with one person, they didn't have that same ability. Their brain structure didn't change. They didn't have those same folds as men did. They weren't able to do it. Now, the women that were able to do it, they literally had to willpower themselves. They had to willpower themselves. So, what that study taught us is something about women. When they do the same thing that men do, they can't bounce back the same way, which, which makes you raise the question that, aside from the study, is like, are men and women really equal? Right? But that's not something you take up with me. That's not an argument that you have with me. That's an argument you have with the creator, right? That's an argument you have with Allah or God, whoever you want to call the creator. That's who you have the argument with, not me. Because if they did the same thing that men did and they lost something in the process, they weren't able to parabond, they weren't able to easily create a soul tie with their partner like men did. That should tell you something. Maybe it is not a natural inclination for women to be moving around how men do. So when you see that men are throughout history and throughout just about all the Abrahamic religions, because the Bible, neither the Quran or Judaism, doesn't stop anybody from having a multitude of wives. That is a decision on men. And actually, Quran is the only book that tells that says prefers men, that tells men to have one wife. It's easier, and I can understand that, right? Dealing with a whole bunch of women at once, especially being married and having children. One, you have to be wealthy. So dealing with a multitude of women and telling you preferably you can, it's preferable for you to have one, but you can have up to 4. But the whole point is, back to the study, is when women did the same thing that men did, they weren't able to bounce back from it. If they wanted to stay single with one person, they had to willpower themselves. They had to force themselves to be with that one person. Now, what was that number exactly? It wasn't specified. It wasn't. It wasn't. And will you ever really know a woman's right body count? I guess I can. I can have a I can't know exactly, but I'm very intuitive. I've been with a lot of women, so I can tell by a woman's behavior if she's a bit promiscuous, if she's been with a lot of dudes. And based off the number, if she gives me a number around 10, it's definitely more than that. You always gotta, the old J. Cole saying, whatever number she gives you, you gotta multiply by 2 or 3 or whatever it was, right? Right. Um, I think there's some truth to that too. But the point is, you'll never know. You'll never know. You'll never really know the truth. But my point is, aside from a biological thing, right? When women lose something from being with multiple men, maybe this, and now this is not something that you're gonna know unless you hear it and unless you actually go do the studying. And it wasn't the same with men. Men were able to adapt and get to the place where they can be with one woman again after retraining. Their brain structure actually changed. And what you'll find is most men don't like it. Most men, it's a natural inclination. But why is that? I think it's a natural thing, even for men that don't have a lot of sexual experience. It's a natural inclination for men, especially men that have the least amount of experience, to want to be with a woman that has a lot of sexual partners, right? Because it's like a natural instinct. It's like a natural inclination for a man to know that it's going to be hard to parabond with that girl. It's going to be hard to create this soul tie, this sexual connection with her versus somebody who doesn't. Now, this is not something that they're consciously thinking, but if they innately, if you find this in most men where it's something that they don't like, then I think it's a natural thing because the science tells us, the studies have been done, the numbers are in. This is what the studies are telling us, right? And it's just not something that that men like. It is not something that is appealing. It's not. It's not. So, with women knowing that, because I'm pretty sure a lot of women have experienced it, especially for guys like myself who can be a little deceptive with it, right? Like I'll come off very open, I'll come off very non-judgmental, and this is a way to catch a girl, right? I'll come open, I'll come out very open, very non-judgmental. Maybe even lie about a few things to get her to open up and let her think that it's okay to tell me about her sexual partners, And be like, yeah, I've been with girls. One of the girls I've been with, I really fell in love with her. She had a lot of bodies, so I think she had a hard time being in a relationship. I didn't judge her though. I thought it was okay. I feel like you should never judge anybody who has a lot of bodies. If they're a little more promiscuous, that just means they're a little more freaky, right? That just means that, they're just like, they're probably really good in bed. They're probably really more experienced. I don't judge. How many bodies do you have? 7, 8, 30, 40. Say a really high number, right? You say, I've done this plenty of times. I'll say a really high number. I'll start off slow, go high, 30, 40, 50. She'd be like, damn, what are you used to dealing with, right? But then I'd be like, oh, no, I'm not judging. You tell me. And she'd be like, oh, I got 20. Oh, okay. In the back of my head, I'm like, holy fucking shit. This bitch think that I'm a wife, huh? But on the surface, I'm okay. That's cool. Have you dated any of them? Were any of them your boyfriends? Were any of them, did you fall in love with any of these 20 men? I know girls that said they've been with 50 men. I know girls that said they've been with 100 men. Those girls I didn't hook up with. The girls that said that they've been with 100 men, no. 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 Maybe the ones that were 50, they were bad. Right? And that's how you really trick them to getting them to telling you the truth, to come off non-judgmental, to come off as if you're accepting of it. Because there's no other way to really get the truth out of them. They're going to lie about it anyway. Most women are going to lie about their body count because you're being judged by men. You're being judged by society. And it's okay for them to be promiscuous and do all this stuff until it's time to want to settle down and get a boyfriend, until it's time to want to settle down and have a man and have children. Then they're not going to tell. They're not going to tell the truth. So you have to be honest. When she asks you little shit, oh, would you wife a girl that had 60 bodies? Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, of course I would. Why not? She's a human. All those guys before me, they weren't me. I don't care. Of course I care. But I'm not going to tell her that. Because if she comes to me openly, I want to see what she's going to say. I got to set her up. This is chess, not checkers. What if I fucking really like this girl? What if she's able to deceive me and I end up wifing this thought bitch who got 60 bodies? That's a lot for me, and I'm understandable. I can even understand at 29 if a girl tells me she has 12 bodies. That's pushing it, but I can understand that. You got to think about it like this. Okay, well, maybe she started having sex at a really young age. Maybe 12, 13, 14. I lost my virginity at 12. The girl that I did it with was also 12. Maybe 16. Maybe she had a few, maybe most of those guys were boyfriends. And she had good intentions. She's not trying to be a hoe. She wants to be in a relationship. Maybe she ran into a guy like myself that had excellent game, told her everything she wanted to hear, was even patient with her, clipped it and left. Maybe she had maybe 1 or 2 one-night stands, but she has good intentions. So at the age of 29, if a girl tells me she has 20, not 20, if she tells me she has 12, 13, I can understand that. That's reasonable. It also depends on her age. If she's my age and telling me that, that's not that bad, especially with the way the world is now. I was in once I was that guy. I was once a guy in savage mode. I was in one relationship for 4 years, then I was another relationship for 3 and some change. And then the last one didn't go so well, so I was on my shit. I was clipping girls and blocking them and not talking to them after. And I was doing this a lot. Stuck for the law, but I was doing it a lot. Every day, a new chick, every day. Sometimes 2 of them a day, 2, 3 a day. It was wild. And a lot of them clipped, blocked, never talked to, never responding again. So what if she ran into some guy like that? It's very understandable. It's very understandable. But if she comes to you and she says she's 18, she's 16 with 12 bodies, 20 bodies, she's 20 with 20, she's 20 going on 20, she's 25 with 50 bodies, fuck no. But when she comes and tells you, if she's open enough to tell you, don't judge her. Don't start getting caught up. Don't get emotional. Oh, damn. Don't say that. You want her to be honest. If she asks you those crazy off-the-wall questions, oh, would you marry a girl who had 70 bodies? Yeah, it depends. It depends. That's what you got. You got to respond calm, cool, and collected. Because if she sees you're receptive to that behavior, like, oh, okay, maybe this is the one. Maybe I can be honest with him. 70 by it all depends. If she can love me, it doesn't matter. All those guys were before me. I don't care about none of that. As long as it's tight, as long as it feels good, right? As long as she can please me, right? See, a motherfucker like me, I'm dangerous because the bitches cannot. I don't fall. I've been with so many girls. I don't fall for the bullshit. You can't bullshit a book. My game is premium, motherfucker. You can't run the game on me. I already know it. There will be girls who stop fucking with me because their manipulation tactics doesn't work on me. Sometimes I won't call them out on it. I'll just be like, I just like, listen. A lot of the times I'll be like, stop. I know you're doing this because of this. Stop. And I'm not falling for it. So cut it out. Cut it out because I'm not hearing it, right? So a lot of the times it doesn't work on me, right? Because I know game. And I'm real slick with it. So there's a lot of reasons why, women lie about their body count. There's a lot of reasons why, right? And to be honest with you, you'll never really know the truth. You never really know the truth. But no, a lot of women will lie about it. Especially if, and one thing that I find is the women that are not as good looking, the women that are not used to getting attention, and some that get attention too, are usually the ones that are most promiscuous, especially with the new age of social media. They see how easy it is just to hook up with a guy. And after this podcast, make sure you subscribe to YouTube because I'm going to be reacting to a video just like it. How easy it is. Because a lot of you motherfuckers are thirsty. A lot of guys don't get sex as easily as women do. So if they get the opportunity to clip a girl, even though she's not that cute, oh, that's easier. Cute. She's not that cute, but she got a cake on her. She got some nice boobies. She not that cute, but her body is straight. Okay. You know what? I'll clip it. Nobody got to know. Nice little Tinder date, off hinge, blacked, chest butt, whatever it is. Yeah, I'll clip it right quick. Nobody got to know. So it's real easy for those girls to go and get that, right? But the 8, 9s, and 10s, guys don't get 8, 9s, and 10s like that. Why? Because they've been pretty for a while. They've been having options for a while. This is not new to them, right? Maybe their standards are a lot higher. That's usually what I find. Not all the time. There's always exceptions to every rule. Not all the time. But usually the girls that are the 6s and below, 7s, sometimes you might have a beautiful whore. That's okay. But usually it's the girls that are not as cute, the chubby girls, the ones that that'll clip you, and you don't really want to tell nobody. It happens. It happens to the best of us. But it's really easily accessible. Sex is easily accessible for women. That's why when you guys come with the validation and you come with all this, all this sideway game, it doesn't work. Because they could get an easy Tinder date easy. They can go out and get some penis tonight. You got to be lucky if you get a match. And then sometime when you get the match, some of the girls don't reply. And they might reply later. Why? Because she has thousands of DMs. There was girls that I was damn near pimping. One girl, not even overweight, not that cute, had literally, I think it was like 2,000 messages. It literally said 2,000 messages. Her Snapchat messages out the ass. I was telling guys on her Snapchat, send me money, and I was giving them my Cashapp just to see, and it worked. And she was a soft 6, maybe a 5, maybe a 5.8 with a big butt, because it's easier for them. So understand, most of them are gonna lie about it, and that's the unwanted truth. It's easier for them. And she wasn't a cute, so imagine the cute girls. They're a little more selective. We're going to end this podcast off with JL. Compete. And then we're going to start streaming on YouTube. So make sure you guys get on over to YouTube. I'm going to start streaming right away.
I'm just out here on the road, I'm just trying to get this chase. Reminiscing about your body, how you put it all on me. When it's all said and done, you the one I'm trying to see. Yeah, them hoes cool, but again, shoot, they don't compete. Nah, they don't compete. Yup, when I get back home, best believe I'm trying to see. Yup, where you been all this time, baby girl, I need ya. Been with other women, but they really don't compete. Nah, they don't compete. Shorty cold, she bring winter to the summertime. I ain't trying to gas her, but she want a kind. Might be talking crazy, cause the pussy heavy on my mind. But every time I get a bad one, this happens all the time. But it don't feel the same, yeah, it feels different. My niggas say I'm bugging all the time and say I'm tripping. Try to give me mad advice, but you know I never listen. Fuck all that, she got what I need and everything I'm missing. I'm just out here on the road, I'm just trying to get this chase. Reminiscing about your body, how you put it all on me. When it's all said and done, you the one I'm trying to see. Yeah, them hoes cool, but again, shoot, they don't compete. Nah, they don't compete. Yup, when I get back home, best believe I'm trying to see. Yup, where you been all this time, baby girl, I need ya. Been with other women, but they really don't compete. Nah, they don't compete. Yeah, and all that other shit is getting old. And we ain't getting younger, we just getting old. So why we wasting time? What we in it for? I visualize it in my dreams, but now I'm trying to see it though. Yeah, drop the Addy, baby, show me what you bout. Yeah, know you wanna fuck with me because of word of mouth. Yeah, kissing on your body while I'm going down south. Yeah, dick you down. Yeah, fuck you all over the couch. Yeah, you ain't gotta tell me, baby, I know what it is. Even if you got a nigga, he ain't fucking you like this. I'ma need you when your birthday. Soup we handle biz. When I pull up on you, you know that it's lit. I'm just out here on the road, I'm just trying to get this chase. Reminiscing about your body, how you put it all on me. When it's all said and done, you the one I'm trying to see. Yeah, them hoes cool, but again, shoot, they don't compete. Nah, they don't compete. Yup, when I get back home, best believe I'm trying to see. Yup, where you been all this time, baby girl, I need ya. Been with other women, but they really don't compete. Nah, they don't compete.
All right. That was Jo Compete. All right, guys. So everybody who is on live, whether that be Instagram or TikTok, you guys can stay. Now, guys that are on YouTube, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be ending the live now, and then I'm going to go on streaming. I'm going to start streaming, and we're going to react to a video or two. Now, all you guys got to do is just rejoin the stream. I'm going to post it on Patreon, and guys on live, stay where you're at. You can hear the audio. I don't feel like flipping the camera, but that's what we're about to get into. So don't go anywhere. Go grab your popcorn. And basically, the video we're going to be reacting to is kind of basically what we were talking about. It's a great video to react to, and don't go anywhere. We're going to get right into it.